Alrighty, so I was scrolling through Twitter, and Beats PH, if you don't know, another Grand Cross content creator, I follow him on Twitter, and he retweeted, or I guess he just liked, this, I guess, tweet from a Korean player who says that he has collected a lot of the start screens from the game, or I guess it's all of the start screens from the game, and he says there's a lot of memorable screens. And I thought it would just be kind of a cool little fun activity if we just went through and rated each of them, because I think some of them are really cool, and some of them are kind of meh, so we'll just kind of give a rating on them. Obviously, these are just my own personal opinions. Don't get offended if one of them's cooler than you think it's cooler than I do. If you have a favorite one, feel free to pick it out and leave a comment down below, because I do think that some of these are really cool. So let's just hop into it. I don't want to take super long. So first screen, I've already recorded this once and my microphone was not on. So I made this one sort of like the baseline, like just the average. This is like a 5 out of 10. Honestly, I think it should drop down maybe to a 4 out of 10. Like, this is a pretty okay screen. It's not too crazy. It doesn't have a whole lot going on. It's just the normal like sky in the background. You have all of the 7 deadly sins. You have Hawk. You have Elizabeth. What more do you want? Next up, so we're going to give that a 4 out of 10. Next up, we have the Slime Collab, the original Slime Collab that dropped. This one could potentially get revamped sometime in the future, because there has been more leaks for slime stuff lately. But yeah, this one's kind of cool, pretty interesting. You've got like the two-tone background and everything like that. You've got the pink on the left, the sort of like dark blue / purple on the right. You have the Slime Collab characters that you could get, and then you have some of the 7 deadly sins on the left. Honestly, not a bad screen. It looks pretty good. I would give this one like a 6 out of 10. It's not like super cool, but collab screens are pretty hype, so we'll go 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Escanor. I know that a lot of people really like Escanor, but I've got to say, as far as start screens go, it's just him. I'm pretty sure this came out right around the release of Green Escanor. It was supposed to be a little bit more hype. I don't particularly remember this one on Global. I don't know if we ever even got this one on Global. I'm assuming we did, but if we did, it was probably a really short run that I just didn't think was memorable enough to even log it in my memory, because I don't remember getting this one on Global, to be honest. But it's okay. I mean, it's pretty bland, honestly. I mean, you've got the sun, you've got Escanor, you've got some rocks. I don't know. This one just particularly, I'm not a huge fan of Escanor, so I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but I don't really care for this one. I think this one's kind of a 4 out of 10. Like, it's kind of just meh. Anyway, moving on. We have the Prisoners of the Sky one. I think that this one's really cool. I don't particularly care for the movie content, because I don't think it's even canon stuff, but I think that this screen is kind of cool looking. The only thing I think that it has going bad for it is that there's too much going on. Like, there's so much to look at. You have this little island, you've got Elat, you've got Solaceed up here going away from Bellion. I do like the Bellion like arching over, like trying to like grab them, like being the big like antagonist. And then you have the Sins. You have Melly in like this alternate outfit, which is kind of neat. And then overall, like, I don't know, this one's not a bad screen. Like, I do kind of like this one. I give this one like a 6 out of 10. It's not like super good, but it's pretty cool. I think it's just a little bit too congested. Like, there's just so much going on at one time. It's kind of just hard to like, you look at it and just be like, oh, like, that's what I'm looking at. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff. This one right here, I have to say I'm not really a big fan of these. It's literally just the starting screen with balloons in it. I don't care for it, so I mean, it feels kind of lazy to me. I don't know, just personally, so I give this one like a 3 out of 10. Next one, it took us forever to get this one on Global. I actually like this one quite a bit, because it's got the same sort of like theme as like Bellion, but you have Zeldris sort of like trying to grab the 7 deadly sins, because this one was like peak of like season 2, where the commandments were really big, and you even have some of the archangels up here like peeking out of the top right, which I think is pretty cool. You have everybody in a little bit different of a pose, so it's just changed up a little bit more. You got the cool like purple background going on. I don't know, I personally like this one a lot more than the original screen. I think this one's probably like a 6 out of 10, like maybe a 7 out of 10. It just feels good. It doesn't feel super clustered. Overall, just a nice screen to me. Next up, we have the Attack on Titan collab. I think this one is honestly some of the best start screens we've had, because in the original one, like, you can see like all of the fire is kind of like waving around and stuff. Like it looks very like nice and clean. You've got the, you know, the colossal Titan peeking over the back. You've got the armored Titan. You have Deanne going just absolutely sicko mode behind like all the characters, and then of course you have the collab units, and then the 7 deadly sins and everything, and just the fire and just the whole atmosphere. This one has like an actual like decent background to it. I think like this one's like a 9 out of 10. Like this one's just super good. Like I just really love this one. Next up, we have another one of these balloon ones. This one is literally just the same one as the other one, but it just has a different number in balloons. This one gets a 0 out of 10. They've already done it once. It's bad. Next up, we have the KOF collab. I actually really like this one too. If you remember actually seeing the KOF collab in game, Kyo's fire and Melly's like darkness have like a cool like waving effect on it that makes it look really neat while you're actually looking at it. A lot of these screens have like a little effects going on in them as well, but obviously it's hard to tell what was what if I don't remember it like offhand. So I'm gonna try not to let that bias me a little bit, but this one was really memorable, and I actually thought it was probably the coolest part of the screen. You sort of have like, you know, Rugal being the, you know, antagonist over the back there. It's pretty much like the overarching theme with a lot of these screens, but you have the Sins, you have all the KOF collab members on the right, two-tone sort of like purple over here for the Sins, you know, the red sort of theme over here with the KOF collab members. I honestly think this one was really cool. I like this one a lot. It doesn't have as much of a background as the Attack on Titan one does, unfortunately. I'd give this one like an 8 out of 10 instead of a 9, but this one was still really cool. I like this one quite a bit. Next up, we have the bottom left, which is the first time we actually seen the one Escanor, and he goes up against Assault Melly in the story. This one's pretty like iconic, I think, but as far as the start screens go, I'm actually not like too big of a fan of this one. Like it just, I don't know, you see the purple cube, you see, you know, the two characters looking at each other. It's a really cool moment in the story. I don't know, it's like 6 out of 10 for me. It could be better, I think. Like there could be more happening. Like he could have been the one Escanor, you know, in this screenshot. Maybe they don't want to spoil that, but I don't know. It feels like it could be a little bit better to me, so I'm gonna give that one a 6 out of 10. Next up, we have another balloon one that I'm not super thrilled about, but obviously they finally changed it up a little bit. They've got some more of the festival characters going on here, because normally these were festival like screens. This one's okay. This one's not too bad. At least they changed it up from the original. They did more to it. I'll give this one like a 5 out of 10. It's better than the original start screen just because they actually changed it and they're doing more, and it says congratulations and cool. 5 out of 10. Next up, we have the ReZero collab. I hate to give this one like not a super high score, but this one to me just really doesn't do it for me, I guess. Like the background is kind of meh. Like you just have these like little pink crystals, purple background. You have the characters, which are cool. For some reason you have Elaine here, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And for some reason, I mean, I know that Subaru is like the main character of the show, and he was a big part of the actual like story like content when the collab dropped, but he's not a playable character at all, and I think that would be more of a selling point if he was a main character and he had, you know, a playable like unit in the game. I think that would be cooler. I don't know, this one doesn't really do much for me. They're just in the shape of a 0. I guess that's the gimmick, but I don't know. It's not bad, but I don't find it like overly exciting. This one's like a 5, maybe a 6 out of 10. Not anything too cool to me personally, even though I like the anime. I do really like the ReZero anime. Next up, we have the Stranger Things collab, which was super weird, and I'm not really sure why they did that at all. So, I do like the background on this one. It actually has somewhat of an actual background going on. I feel like there's way too many characters from the, you know, the 7 Deadly Sin or the Stranger Things side here. Like a lot of these characters were in the story, but they're not all playable characters to me, which shouldn't really, I don't think that should be like a criteria, I don't think, but I don't know, it's just weird that they're there. Like, I don't know, obviously they might be just trying to fill in characters because the Seven Deadly Sin side has so many characters, but they just could have cut down on both, I think, in my own personal opinion. You have 11 like zombieing behind them, but I do like the overall like image itself. Like the you know, the background is cool, the characters are cool. You have 11 sort of, you know, being the main focus there. It's not awful. Jim Hopper has a gun that goes hard. So this one's like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10. The background on this one was pretty cool, I have to say. I don't know if I want to give it a 7 out of 10, so it's either like a 6.5 or like a 7. Next up, we have a pretty just like regular one, I think. I can't remember exactly what this one was for. I don't remember if this one was for a festival or anything like that, or if this was just like an in-between festivals sort of like starting screen, but it's definitely, I think it's better than the original. It shows a lot of progression with some of the characters. They're all in different poses and stuff. You know, you have Little Merlin, you have the one Escanor. This is like Little Wings King. You even have Gother riding around on the like the cool transformed hawk, I think. So this one is cool. It's not overly crazy, like different than the first one. I would give this one like a 6. This one's not bad. 6 is fair to me. Next up, we have the Margaret one. I'm a little biased. I really liked Margaret when she came out, and I still really like Margaret, and I just really like the Archangels in general. I think that this one has a cool theme to it. You have the Archangels sort of on the right. You have the, you know, the demons on the left. It was, you know, pretty thematic, because this was like whenever they did the very bad decision of releasing Margaret right into Cusack in the same festival, which was not cool. But overall, this one's still really neat. I think it has a cool theme to it. You have the light, you have the dark, you have, you know, the really cool like golden effect behind Ludo. I like this one a lot. This one's like a 7, maybe even an 8, just because it looks good. I like to see that one when I log in. Very cool, very pog, very champ. Next up, we have the Ragnarok one, which I think is pretty cool. The Ragnarok one has, you know, you have Brunhild, you have Sigurd, who are pretty much the like some of the two main characters. You have the mysterious Fenrir in the back, which is very story related, which I think is cool. And I honestly really like the theme of the Ragnarok stuff. Like I've really gotten into Norse mythology as of recently, and I think that this one is just super cool. I love the overarching like I don't know, I just think that they did a good job with like this one. Like it looks like a movie poster to me. Like it actually looks good. So I don't know, this one's probably like a 7 as well. I know that people, like some people are kind of disappointed in how Ragnarok has turned out as far as like content in the game goes, but I think that this as a screen is pretty cool. I wish that they would do this one every single time that a Ragnarok chapter dropped, or at least like come up with new Ragnarok like screens like this, because I think that could be kind of cool. Next up, we have another like download celebration one. They got rid of the balloons, which is definitely a huge win. They're holding up a 40 million download celebration banner. You have the festival Gother here, which is kind of okay. I don't know, it's not overly great, but it's not bad. They're all like pretty happy. They're like, woohoo, we downloaded the game 40 million times. Oh no, it's okay. It's not too bad. It's like a 5. I don't think it's overly like cool, but it's not overly bad. Next up, we have the one that we've probably had for the longest. We had this one for like 2 festivals in a row, going from King all the way into Trader Melly. And I am so sick of this one. I'm so glad that we finally changed off of this one, because this one has that really annoying like camera lens flare sort of thing going on, because it's like supposed to be like, oh, they're walking down the red carpet and people are taking pictures of them. They're all dressed up. They've got their suits and their dresses on. Like, wowee. But oh my god, those little lens flares were killing me. Like I hated them more and more every time I seen the loading screen, and it was just awful. So the overall theme of it is neat. It's okay, but those lens flares flashing, oh my god, they're awful. I'd give this one, with the lens flares, it's like a 3 out of 10. Without them, like just this image, it's probably a 5 out of 10. It's okay. It's not too crazy. It's not too, you know, exciting at the same time. I don't know, it's just it's okay. Next up, we have the current one, which is Oh, I've already logged in, but I had it logged out when I did this originally. But yeah, we have the newest one, and I actually like this one quite a bit. I don't know if it's just because it finally got rid of this one right here, or if it's because it's still new, like it's only been out for like a day or two on global, but the one thing stopping me from really loving this one is Escanor. Everybody is like skydiving towards the camera. You know, even Deanne is like falling backwards towards the camera. It's very like, it's got a lot of perspective to it. And then Escanor looks like he was just cut out of a magazine and glued onto the screen. Like, he doesn't look like he fits in this image at all. He's not falling towards the camera. It looks like he was walking towards the camera in a different perspective shot, and they just snipped him out and then pasted him here for some reason. He looks so out of place. I know that I give Escanor a lot of flack, but he just doesn't belong here in this pose. If he looked like he was falling correctly towards the screen, I would like it a lot more. There's a lot of Deanne flesh in this one as well. Like, you can see a lot of skin. That makes it a lot better. This one's probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10. In the actual, like, you know, screen itself, if you log in right now, there's a lot of like wind blowing past them to sort of give you this, you know, the perspective of, you know, they're falling and everything, like they're coming towards the ground or the camera. And honestly, just, I think this one's kind of cool. They're all just, you know, big chillin', flying down, just flying through the air. It's not bad. I'll probably lower this one. I would probably lower this one if it wasn't like brand new, but I think this one's cool. It's like a 7 for me. So that's pretty much it. Kind of a weird video, but I think it's kind of neat going back and looking at all the screens that we've had over the course of the game. So if you have a favorite, like I said in the beginning, feel free to let me know what it is, and you can comment down below, and I would appreciate it. So that would pretty much be the whole thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, a little bit of a different video, kind of cool though. But yeah, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you then.